Hey guys, welcome back to Johnson Branch Farm, and I'm actually filming this video from my bedroom, and I really was hoping it was not going to come down to this, but I had to cave in and I had to go with a grow light setup. And I even bought the wrong lights. I bought 4-foot lights, so it was like, you could probably have seen all of this from space. So, but not to worry, I got it all finally sorted out. I got the right lights, and it's actually working. So I'm super excited. So what I ended up getting was just a metal rack off of Amazon. I'll link it below. Not anything super fancy, not anything special. I tried to get one on Marketplace because I'm all about being thrifty and frugal, but I just couldn't find one, and I couldn't wait around forever. All of these are 10-20 trays. I used the soil blocker to start these seeds. If you want to see more of that, I'll link that video up above. And yeah, these are my fall crops. So I'm actually really glad I'm doing this right now because I know it's working and I know it's worth it. So come spring, I'm already going to be that much more ahead than I was last year. I do have a greenhouse. I started the majority of my seeds in the greenhouse. But with these being fall crops and it still being on the warmer side, the greenhouse was getting too hot. I did have good luck with the shade cloth. And things like broccoli and cauliflower actually did really well out there before the worms got a hold of them. But things like lettuce and kale, they just weren't germinating very well. And if they did, they just weren't as healthy. Let's put it that way. So I've already noticed a huge difference. So what I ended up doing was instead of growing them in the greenhouse, I was growing them on my porch, because I had really poor germination with lettuce. And what I was noticing was that right here, they were getting really leggy and not growing that their third, fourth leaves. They weren't really doing anything. Then they were falling over, so I was having to replant. All this time being wasted. When you're growing and farming, you don't have a lot of time for do-overs. So I bit the bullet. I bought some inexpensive LED lights. I went with 4-foot, which was totally wrong. I don't know what I was thinking or doing. My husband says, this is what happens when you don't ask me. I ended up going with a 2-foot, I'll link those below, a 2-foot LED grow light. I watched a video that You Can't Eat the Grass on YouTube did. I use them as a big resource. They're actually growing in Canada, so their zones are a little different. But she did a video, and I'll link that down below too, because I just found it really helpful, where she compared like a basic cheap garage shop light, an LED light, and then like a, top of the line actual grow light. And the results were amazing. It's pretty much what sold me that, okay, I just have to go ahead and do this. And it made me a believer. So I went ahead, I didn't get the shop light since we're in my bedroom. I went with just a LED 2-foot light. And so far, so good. And what I've totally noticed is this. Okay, take this tray, for example. All of these were grown on 827, and you can see like these. Now I get it. This is blue kale, this is green cabbage, this is Brussels. So they're going to have a different germination rate. They're not all going to germinate at the same time. But here's what I'm saying. Planted on 827, right here, this little guy, planted on 827. Now, since being under the grow light, I've got this guy, and like I'm getting a lot better germination rates than what I was getting before. Same thing with this tray here. These collards were planted on 913. I've never had collards come up this fast. I've got mustards coming up already, winter boar kale, and I actually have a couple Scarlet kale is now starting to pop up. These were started on Sunday. It's now Thursday. So it totally works. Same with this lettuce up here. Planted on Sunday, and I've already got a sprout. This was planted on 8:30, and look, that little guy just now coming up. So I am getting more consistent germination rates. I am seeming to get healthier plants. I usually keep my bedroom fan on. Which I'll turn that on. I usually keep my bedroom fan on during the day just to kind of give it some airflow. I keep it water. I walk over and spritz it with a water bottle just so they're kind of getting that movement. I rub my hand over it. And then once they get to be a good size, I'll start hardening them off on the porch. And then hopefully I'll be able to move them to the greenhouse before I'm able to plant so they won't have to stay in here all the time. Now for spring, I'm probably going to have to expand this. This is one of the downfalls of living in a mobile home is that I don't have a basement. I don't have extra closets. I don't have like a sunroom or just like an extra room lying around. So I'm kind of forced to do it in my bedroom. But that's okay. I've got a big room. It doesn't take away from anything. I may take over the 2-year-old's closet, though, because I don't feel like she needs that much space. But we'll see what happens when spring comes. Anyway, I'm really pleased with grow lights. I'm really glad I decided to do this now. I feel like it is going to up my game for spring. I'm going to continue to do this for fall. I already have Swiss chard out in the garden, and I'm sowing all of my root vegetables. I'm pretty far behind. I have been struggling with the direction that I need to go with this farm. Do I do a no-till market style? Do we just till and do conventional, and not conventional in the sense of spraying, because I'm not going to do that. If I wouldn't feed it to my family, I'm not going to feed it to your family. But I've really struggled the last month trying to get my footing and figure out where do we go from here. Originally, we were just planting herbs. That was going to be our focus. But once we started doing the market and we started to see the demand for more food and a more variety, and our wheels started turning for the ways we could expand the farm business, we quickly realized we were going to have to do more. That's grow lights in the bedroom. This will carry me for fall. I might have to start another round for winter. I'm going to get some row covers and hopefully have a few rows going. I want to try to keep cilantro going for restaurants around here. And I would hope to eventually one day get a high tunnel and really be able to grow all year round. The sky will be the limit, it'll feel like, if that comes along. So those are some goals for the future. And this setup has really opened my eyes. It's given me that push that, okay, we can do this. This is working finally. All of the trials and errors, I have a trial that actually succeeded. And yeah, it's exciting. I get to wake up, I turn my little lights on, I get to see all my plants. I don't have to drive over to the greenhouse to see them all. So this is kind of, as silly as it sounds, kind of re-energized me and gotten me excited again. I was feeling kind of down in the dumps about it all. I think I've rambled at you enough as it is. I'll go over what's growing up here. I'm doing a lot of varieties, and I'm trying to figure out what's going to grow well and what's going to, be our cash crops, if you will. So I've got 2 types of lettuce. These are from Baker Creek. This one just came as a free seed, so I was just trying it. This is Henderson's Black Seed. I've got a Bib lettuce, a little green gem lettuce, which they tend to really use more for wedges. In, restaurants, you just make like a little wedge salad, put the dressing and the toppings on that. So that would be good for that. I've got a romaine and a butterhead. Those are just now starting to germinate. We've got broccoli, cauliflower, red Brussels sprout, more Brussels sprouts, purple cabbage, green cabbage, dino kale, curled kale, collard greens. I was not going to grow collard greens, but I can't get away from it. I live in the South. I live in Georgia. People love their collard greens. I personally don't care for it, but my aunt told me I was cooking it all wrong, and I grew up in an Italian household. We didn't eat collard greens, so I've got collard greens, and in fact, my husband was actually talking to someone last night, and he's like, "Are y'all growing collard greens?" I'm like, yes, we are. So here in the South, we got some collard greens going. I've got some mustard greens, winter boar kale. I'm thinking this one's going to be good here because I've seen a lot of people in like the western North Carolina area grow that. So I went ahead and got some of that seed from Johnny's, and we've got that going. Scarlet kale because I can't turn down purple things, especially purple kale. Let's see, we've got a blue kale, which is just like your typical curly kale. We've got another round of dino kale, green cabbage, and then more Brussels sprouts. I'm hoping Brussels sprouts will be a winner for us. Up here in this zone, I've been told they like the fall better than the spring. So I'm going to try it. If not, we'll be loaded up on Brussels sprouts, and in this household, that's never a bad thing. That's my setup. I was so excited to show y'all and kind of talk about that because I really do feel like this has been a game changer and is really going to set us up, especially for the spring, but keep us going in through fall and winter. So thanks for following along. Thanks for watching and subscribing. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I'll put the links for everything we use down below so you can kind of have a list of what I used. And if you want to look at it and take it and run with it, that's always a good thing. So thanks for following along. I'll see you on the next video.